Okay guys, we've done the pre-assessment on 11.6.9, then we did the unthinkable and we updated to 1180 and then it automatically updated to 1180.5. Then we did some post-analysis using the footage that you can see behind me that you can also use. And I didn't use the YouTube streams, I hasten to add. And then I've taken some time out and I've watched some Blu-rays, 4K Blu-rays to see, you have to excuse the tractor going past, 4K Blu-rays to see if things have improved for me. Obviously I can't show you the footage of these Blu-rays because, you know, of copyright, and YouTube get a bit antsy when they see that kind of thing. So you'll just have to sort of try it out for yourself if you have these videos. So what did I find? Well, I've watched a good amount of these. We have Planet Earth 2, the series, Passengers, which is good, Sicario, which is a great movie, which has some, it's a good reference material there, and Arrival, again, good reference material. And I've tried to choose material that I know has been recorded in 4K, Hacksaw Ridge there. So I've gone through a lot of those and watched a good amount of those, both in terms of just standard settings and then the settings that I use. And I'm probably going to get an awful lot of hate for what I'm about to say. I don't really think there's anything massively wrong with 1180 or 1180.5. I've seen improvements in pixelation in terms of dark areas where you would normally have like a gradient, and a lot of TVs, a lot of modern TVs have problems processing gradient from sort of light to dark, especially if it's moving and changing in color too. Sunsets are a good example, which is why we have one on the reference material. And I've seen an improvement in terms of how it handles pixelation, and we've been using the dynamic setting on the TV with all the processing turned off just as a baseline. And I noticed improvements on that from 11.6.9 to 11.80. There's still judder. I don't think, you know, we can use smart motion or whatever it's called, but you know, again, once you start adding processing, it causes problems, and I'll get onto that in a moment. But overall, you know, I've not seen an awful lot of banding or light bleed or anything like that. There was this problem that a lot of people were saying there's this sort of lump of brightness in the center of their screens, and I've not witnessed that. And I'm wondering whether that's because of, you know, when they make panels like this, they make an awful lot of them within certain degrees of tolerance, so not every panel is going to be the same, and it is sometimes the luck of the draw. And it also depends on where you're buying them from. If you're buying them from Walmart or whatever, they get thousands of them and they get a reduced price, and there's an argument to say that they're not the same stock. I've heard this sort of thing before, that it's not, you know, the same stock as you would get from, say, an independent company, you know. I don't know, but I have heard rumors along that, you know, that it's perhaps not the same quality. But there are tolerances in panels, you know, that's a given. So not every panel is going to be great. And I think the more extreme problems that people are having relate perhaps more to their own particular panel having a problem than the update. The other thing I think that people are doing far too much, and you need to stop this, just don't bother with them, is the processing. I know it's great and we get sold on all this fancy stuff, but trust me, the more processing that you add to an image, the more additional problems you will inherit through that processing. So so you kind of want to steer away from anything that's going to actually change the source content to the TV trying to then do something with it. So we have things like, well, I can't remember what it's called, something like Smart Motion or something. Let's have a look. We'll get this up. And there was one problem, which I hope it does change, is that my TV, the HDMI would just change, just randomly in the middle of me watching a movie, but I've not experienced that since the update. So the things you need to turn off, okay? If you want HDR content, first of all, you need to have that at 20. Don't start reducing that, and have the contrast at 100. So 20, 45, 100, 0, 50, and that smack in the middle. But this is the crap you need to not have on your TV, and I think this is where people are creating a rod for their own back, because, you know, adding stuff like this just adds more noise, and it adds more, and it adds too much and gives you little back, because, you know, you're getting inherent problems with the processing that it's doing. So, you know, you can have Auto Motion Plus, which I think stops judder and so on, but then that smooths out the image too much, and you get more of an artificial sort of, people look a bit plastic. Analog clean view, if you're using standard def content on a 4K panel, then you would probably may want to experiment with that a little bit, but I still have them off because it will try and apply it to most things. Digital clean view, I think, is a very similar thing. You know, it's just adding processing where processing need not be added. If the content, the golden rule is, if the content you're feeding it is decent and you've got your panel set up correctly, then you don't need this stuff. Auto black level, yeah, because that's not directly processing the image. Dynamic contrast, turn that off. Set it to warm too, but all these settings are available in a video which I created in terms of how to get your color set up properly, and all the settings on that I use, that I've watched these Blu-ray 4K Blu-rays on, and I've noticed an improvement on pixelation and on dark levels and so on. So, you know, black levels have been pretty decent. So I really do feel, and this is where I'm probably going to get a lot of people complaining at me, that don't use this crap. Please, 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 please do not use this. These things, do not use those, because they're going to cause you problems, and they're going to create more problems than they're going to fix. I think overall the update was okay. I will come back in a few weeks after watching more content, but overall I think it went okay. But I think most of all that the problems are panel variances with what people are experiencing, and the fact that people are applying this crap. Don't do that. Leave it alone. Turn it off. So yeah, there we go. I've updated. I'm running 1180.5. It's not the horror show I thought it would be, and I hope my comparison videos have kind of proven that to you. Feel free to experiment with the settings that I use, and yeah, let me know what you think below. Don't forget to subscribe too. But I'll be doing more of this. I'll be providing updates and so on as time goes by. Okay guys, thanks again for watching. Take good care. Bye bye.